Welcome to the Take a Listing Today podcast, where our hosts Jim Studebaker and Todd Robertson give you strategies to get you out of the office right now so you can take a new listing today. And now, here's Jim and Todd.
Hello. Welcome once again to Take a Listing Today podcast. Jim Studebaker over here.
Todd Robertson in the house.
Lisa Gray.
Lisa.
All right, everybody is here, and if you have noticed, if you're watching us, we are still recording our podcast remotely. We are being socially responsible and doing this with plenty of distance in between everybody. So we are welcoming you to our show today, and glad you could join us. Very topical time to join us on our podcast. Today's show is about staying connected to your sphere and your farm area during the coronavirus.
So grab your notes, grab a piece of paper, turn off all distractions, give yourself this gift. Remember, our objective is to give you some tools and strategies to take a listing today.
Exactly. And like we said last week, it's not real estate is over. Go find something else to do. It's figure out how to change your business during the social distancing and still be able to thrive and come out on the other side stronger than ever.
Correct, because if we look at that sentence you just said, we as realtors, right? I'm not a realtor, but realtors out there really have two options. It's kind of like prospecting, right? When it comes around December, it gets them an excuse not to prospect. I don't want to bother people around that time, right? But we have to look at this and say we need to be out there both to serve and to let them know that we're available for them during this time right now. Because there are people. You were saying
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Did you finish your thought, Todd? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
You know what I was going to say? Actually, you said something that just made me think. Can you imagine getting through this, finding a way to thrive? How powerful are you going to be at the other end of this? What are you going to be able to accomplish as a realtor once things are back to normal, once we're fully open for business? If you have been able to accomplish tasks and keep connected and keep things moving forward and stay strong and stay motivated right now, how is that going to impact your outlook and your business after we're done? This could be a game changer.
Exactly. Huge game changer. And the only thing I wanted to add, I love what you said there, is if I'm a real estate agent, I have two options right now in this scenario, in this environment we're in. One is to restrict and sedate, and the other is to expand. How do I expand? By implementing some strategies we're giving them based on what's happening out there. So these things are not an option. We're going to give you a couple strategies here in this podcast today that will no longer be an option that in the past you might have said, oh, that's optional. Now you're just going to level up your game. So when everything reopens up, people are going to have a slow ramp up process, but you're already going to be there. You're the only option for them.
Right. And speaking of strategies, last week we talked about different tools. We're going to tell you now how to use those tools. And one thing you don't want to be during this time is a secret agent.
Right.
You need to stay out there. And now it's more important than ever to communicate in a way that's both reassuring and convicted to your past clients, your sphere of influence. Other agents might be scrambling right now, and they probably are. So more than ever, you need to be visible, both online and offline. So where in the world do you begin? Well, first, ask yourself, where can you add value for your existing customers, prospects, and even your local community? Now, we're a huge believer that you need to help others first, and in my opinion, that help often goes long-term and it'll have a positive impact on your business. Even if it wasn't your intention at the outset, it will show people that you work with, people you communicate with, that you'll find some goodwill will come of that.
Huge.
Remember, the most important message you can communicate to your audience right now is that you're open for business and that you're not going anywhere.
Well, and I want to say something here because I've already heard from some realtors in different cities. It's kind of fun for me, right? Market dominator. I get to speak with agents all over the country. In some pockets, there are some small businesses that have already closed. Some small businesses that didn't have staying power for 1 month that have already had a for lease sign on the door. So what does that mean to the real estate industry? It means one thing. They already know that of all the realtors out there, that maybe it's 30% playing for real, full-time, all the resources, all in. Well, when everything opens back up, they're going to have a question mark. Which real estate agents didn't make it? Who went and got another job? So if they can do what you're talking about right now, they're the obvious option when things open back up.
Right. And to stay in touch with people so that you are the one that they call when they're ready to buy a house, sell a house, you need to connect with them on a personal level. If you've been sending direct mail, send a heartfelt message that's a personal message from you. It's important to be you and to build those relationships. Building and maintaining relationships is more important now than it ever has been, to be honest. We're hearing a lot of great things and seeing great things happening with real estate agents and their creativity and their marketing. So get your creative thinking caps on and join them. Now, you might have some downtime. It's true. So here are some things you can do during this time, internal functions, but they're going to have a huge impact on your sphere of influence and your farm marketing in the future. Here's a great one: cleaning up and organizing your CRM. That sounds like a great time, doesn't it?
Sounds fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sounds like a blast, but it's something that you really ought to do, right?
Exactly.
How about organizing your email lists with tags based on if they're a past client, a prospect, a hot lead?
You know what's really cool
about
this? If you take the time, which you have some of that time now, to add tags to your emails in your email list, in the future, if you want to send an email only to past clients, it's very easy to grab, based on tags, those individuals. If you want to send an email, maybe you've tagged certain regions, certain neighborhoods you have people tagged by. If you want to send something out about a home that you've listed in a specific neighborhood and you have your emails tagged with that, you just grab those emails by that tag, and you get that email out. This is going to be incredibly powerful in the future if you can go in and start adding some tags to your contacts in your email list. Right now, it's such a powerful tool in the future. The more you can niche down the emails that you send to a specific targeted market of people, the more people that will open these emails, the more people that will click on these emails. It is just a statistic.
Nice.
Great. Yeah. On top of that, what about researching a new farm area for future listings? That would be a great time to do that.
Not only is that a great time, I find talking to people that, I sign people up, Market Dominator, or a 2-year listing campaign, right? But here's what's interesting about looking at a new farm area, because we have these conversations every single week. A lot of people overlook areas that might be 2 to 3 years old, right? Because they heard an old stat that said, oh, people move every 7 to 9 years, and now that's moved. But here's the thing. Even in this place I'm in right now, that was 1 year old, there were listings and sales. So even if an area is 2 to 6 years old, that will not be on 95% of agents' radar. You can go in there and get all these new listings pop up because no one's thinking that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here's a great idea. What about conceptualizing and organizing a fall event for your clients? When things are hopefully back to normal, have a big party.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And that does a lot right there. It could be a client appreciation party. It lets them know you're still in business. They get to see you. You can do something light for them. You could have some sponsors with title or mortgage or something. Yeah, that was a brilliant idea, and there's a lot of ways they could take that.
Exactly. So whatever you do, whatever you decide on, make sure you do something every day to keep you moving in the right direction. Now, here's something that might keep you busy. What about social media? You might as well keep in touch with your friends, family, your farm area, your sphere of influence with social media. Right now, it's one of the best communication outlets because it's at a distance and it's free. So if you haven't had time to dedicate to building out a strong presence on social media, then this is the ideal stay-at-home project for you to do.
And for those of you listening or watching right now, for some people, this can be overwhelming because if they're not doing that already, that can be very overwhelming. So my thought process is this: pick one channel, pick one medium, whether it's Instagram, it's Facebook, it's other stuff, and dominate it with a purpose. Dominate with a purpose. Don't be like the real estate agent who sends out some goofy, funny stuff and then some maybe halfway inappropriate stuff. How about the realtor that is putting stuff on with a purpose? They're getting to know his or her family. They're getting to see some for sale signs. They're getting some real estate information content. They're posting with a purpose. Where I look at so many real estate agents out there and they're just being goofy and just being like your friends would be. And you're like, okay, you're posting, but you're not posting with a purpose.
Well, and the cool thing about certain social media platforms is if you post something on Instagram, you can actually also post it on Twitter and on Facebook as well. So there are ways within the platforms to spread that post out. Once you've got it perfect, you've got it done, your wording's right, your image, your video is correct, you just send it out there and you sprinkle it across a couple platforms in the touch of a button.
Nice.
Speaking of platforms, Lisa did some research because she had a bunch of free time at home, it looks like.
Yes, so much right now.
And that will tell you which platform would be the best for you to focus most of your time on. So let's start with Facebook. So last year, the largest group of US Facebook users were millennials at 84%. The next largest age group, 30 to 49-year-olds, includes younger members of Gen X. Now, the older generations were well represented on Facebook as well, with 2/3 of older Gen Xers and boomers, and nearly half of older boomers who are older than 65 using Facebook. Therefore, Facebook remains a no-brainer for real estate agents, whether trying to boost organic traffic to websites or using targeted advertising.
Yep, and there are some agents out there who do that effectively well. I would grade them a 9 out of 10, and there are some that are a 1 out of 10. So that's an improvement point right there if you're a realtor listening or watching. Write that down for you as an improvement point for your business.
All right. Now, what about Instagram? Well, don't be sucked in by the number of businesses that use Instagram. Their targeted demographics are most likely not nearly as narrow as yours. For instance, they may be after a global audience or they want to appeal to teens and young adults. If you're already creating posts for Facebook, it should be fairly easy to copy them and post them to Instagram as well. The more reach and visibility you can generate from posting your brand or listings, the better. Just remember to keep a close eye on your targeted audience and make sure your content matches the demographic.
Yeah, the one thing about Instagram where you can lose a little bit control over your demographic is there is a fairly high percentage of international users. And you're not a realtor of international properties, so some of that time could be a little bit wasted if you're not really careful of where that message is going out and ensuring that your main audience is really local.
Mm-hmm. Now, LinkedIn, how about that? Well, LinkedIn doesn't have the largest share of online users, only 29% of American adults, but LinkedIn's demographics are ideal for real estate marketing. 7% of the users are age 30 and older. 50% are college graduates. 45% of LinkedIn users earn more than $75,000 per year, and only 21% earn less than $30,000. Now, if you recall the profile of the average home buyer and seller, you'll remember that this is the demographic that you should be chasing after. Not only are the demographics ideal in LinkedIn, but HubSpot gathered data on more than 5,000 companies and found that LinkedIn was 277% more effective for lead generation than Facebook and Twitter. So, Lisa, why aren't we just using LinkedIn? Right?
Actually, we are. We do have a presence on LinkedIn.
Of course we
We're
are.
on it. We're on it, man.
On LinkedIn? We'll go live again after we're all back in the studio. How about that?
Exactly.
All right. Other social media platforms such as Pinterest and TikTok also tend to have a much younger demographic, so they aren't necessarily a great time investment for right now. All right. Ooh, here's a good one. Let's get off of the electronic stuff and go back to the old-fashioned, tried and true things that we know work each and every time. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Well, before we go into that, so for those of you listening and watching, those 3 or 4 subjects we just covered, write down what you're going to do. If you're not doing any of them right now, just pick one and kick the ball down the hill. Get a little bit of momentum. We're here to help you make it happen, but get some momentum by implementing one of those that we just discussed, that Jim just went over. Okay,
I have a guess for the old-fashioned thing you were talking about. Is it Morse code?
Morse code. I said it was not electronic or it doesn't have anything to do with electricity. So Morse code would not be it, because that was used on the telegraph that
sorry, Lisa, you do not win a gift card, or you do not win any books. Sorry, great attempt at that, though.
You don't get to read about Rossi's third eye.
Right.
No, it is actually direct mail.
Ooh.
Of course.
Unfortunately, we don't have our sound effects with us today, but direct mail marketing is a great way to stay in contact with your sphere and your farm. Here are some creative ideas you can enact to stay in communication with your market through direct mail that can also be used on email and your social media. How about sending out postcards that promote a virtual open house with a link to the video?
Yeah, what's really cool about this is you can take an existing just listed postcard. So you go to ProspectsPLUS, you grab the postcard you like, the colors, etc., and the background, and then you just change the words "just listing" to virtual open house.
Mm-hmm. And also, in a world of technology overload, they say that direct response mail, right? They say that 94 to 97% of people go to their mailbox every single day, and we have to have a technology footprint, but there's a lot of noise there. Direct response, boom, great magic in that.
I wonder what the percentage of people going to their mailbox right now is.
Right.
Because everybody's at home. They're probably reading through every piece of mail, just going over it again and again. Something to do.
A lot.
So the one postcard is getting read 3 or 4 times. Yes.
Yeah, and the post office is an essential service, so they're not going to be shut down like restaurants and gyms.
Absolutely.
And so they're going to be around. We're going to be around.
Oops.
I have a call coming in.
Market dominator is happening. This is live, folks. We're going live. We've got clients, things are blowing up. People are marketing. Great things are happening here.
Oh, that is good. All right, here's some more ideas for some direct mail. Send postcards with fun activities for families to engage in while they're at home. How about write some personal notes and send them out? When's the last time you received an actual handwritten note?
Well, I have to tell you, I was in a meeting with Dean Jackson about a year ago with Morton and some other people. Mm-hmm. Somebody asked Dean Jackson, right, is one of the best copywriters, one of the best marketers in the country. Up in Tampa we met, and they said, Dean, what is the best form of marketing in today's day and age? He said the handwritten personal note, because people used to love to get it and nobody does it anymore. Boom.
Very true. You hardly ever see that. And when you do see it, you'll probably look at it and say, wow.
Yeah, you love it. How many of us go to our mailbox and get a personal note like we used to from our parents or grandparents or a friend? I mean, it's pretty neat. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, and the personal, a handwritten note, I think very often we're trying to determine when we see people doing forms of marketing, how much time did they really spend on that? How much do they really care? Can I trust them? Somebody who takes the time to write out a handwritten note and send it in the mail to you, instantly, I know this person spent the time to say these things, to write these things out by hand. This is not a mass mailing that went out or a mass email or a mass post on social media. Not that there's anything wrong with those, but this is something that was meant just for me. Boy, that is really going to be memorable, and it tells me how much they care.
Yeah. You just gave me an idea, Lisa. Here's a way that a realtor could level that up. So personal notes are great to, let's say, past client centers of influence, but ooh, you just gave me an idea. What if I'm a realtor and I have 8 or 10 businesses that I drop off my marketing piece to once a month, or I drop off new listings to, or my market dominator? Wow, I could write 8 or 10 personal notes just to those owners, and if they're receptive, I'm going to get the owner in the whole company. So there's some magic there, and I could also let them know, hey, when you guys reopen, if they are shut down, me and my team are ready to go in and help you form an alliance, do some goodwill.
Excellent. Excellent. So a few more tips here, and then we're going to wrap it up. How about a postcard with some tips for sanitizing your home during the coronavirus outbreak? Or what about a postcard on where to find toilet paper? Could we do that one, Lisa? Maybe that would be.
Actually, believe it or not, we have a couple of postcards that are just finishing being developed in-house with ProspectsPLUS that are very timely. Some are humorous, some are more heartfelt, some are actually instruction-oriented, and they're going to be available very soon for agents to send out. And there's some that have some humor that are based on toilet paper being difficult to find. But yeah, we did see an agent do something like that. They actually created their own funny postcard on toilet paper running out. They uploaded it using the Upload Your Own tool on ProspectsPLUS and sent that out. We're seeing a lot of creativity like that where agents are coming up with ideas, they're creating it themselves, they're using Canva, that's C-A-N-V-A, that's a free platform online, very easy to use, even for people that are very techy, and they're creating their own postcards with really creative, fun ideas, and they're uploading those to ProspectsPLUS and sending those out. And it's exciting to see things like that and really see that personal touch of those agents.
Mm-hmm. And you might check ProspectsPLUS.com right now, because by the time you watch or listen to this podcast, they're probably already going to be up there.
Actually, you're accurate. They will be available.
Yeah, perfect. So speaking of ProspectsPLUS, what a fine company. If you're interested in sending out postcards, but your budget is tight, you can send as little as one postcard, or you could purchase a postcard download and send it in an email or post it on social media instead of doing a huge mailing if you wanted to. So that would be another option for you. But whatever you do, don't lose touch with the people that you've been communicating with over and over in the past. That would be the grand moral of today's show. Would you agree, Lisa and Todd?
Correct. I would agree.
Absolutely. I mean, that's really the bottom line. Get creative. Let your personality shine right now, and let your audience know, your sphere and your farm know that you're thinking about them and you care.
Exactly. And I would say that also lets them know you're still in business. And it's like the sentence we've used with our company for many years, and realtors know it as well. Without marketing, a terrible thing happens. Nothing.
Exactly. All right. Well, that is our show for today. Remember, we're all in this together, practicing our distancing, making sure we get things back to normal. So our next show might be back in the studio, or it might be at all of our homes like we are right now. So stay safe out there, and don't forget our podcast is brought to you by ProspectsPLUS with a multitude of marketing options, including fun coronavirus mailings. So you might want to check some of those out. Thank you for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye. Stay safe and stay powerful.
Thinking of you. We care about you. Art.